Greg, in these 3 weeks or so, have you had any interaction with Bo? Just curious to see if is he giving you space, or have you felt the urge to reach out to him and bounce things off him at all?
He's texted pretty much before, I think, every game, and then he's called me after each game. But he said from day one, he said, you got my number, I'm not going to bug you. And if you need anything, call me. I did talk to him after the Purdue game, and we talked about what he saw and what I saw, and we both were right on the same page. I think he's watching from afar in terms of on his TV, but he said, "Hey, he told me right away, you know what you're doing. Go do it. Don't worry. If you need anything, I'm always here. Otherwise, I'm staying out of your way."
Coach, you're about 3 weeks into your new slot, your new position. How do you think the transition has gone for you, and how has it maybe progressed or evolved in a different way than maybe you expected?
Well, I don't think anything is different than what I expected. There's really been no surprises. Everything that has happened or decisions I've had to make really have I expected to have to make those type of decisions. So there really hasn't been anything that caught me off guard, no pun intended. But I think the transition's gone really well. Our players have been great, and that's from day one. Even the first few minutes after Coach Ryan announced his decision to him, and then Coach Alvarez talked to him, I got a chance to take the floor, and I've made it about the players because that's what this is about, and they're the most important piece of this whole program, and always have been and always will be. So I wanted to make sure that they understood that we were here for them, and that we were going to be there in the transition. Some of them, obviously, it was shaking, but it wasn't upsetting from a standpoint of they knew we were going to take very good care of them, and they trusted us, and we continued to build and work on that trust. Obviously, my role changes, my responsibilities change, but my relationship in terms of my ability to communicate with them and talk to them and help people work through things, and they're all different. I mean, I can't talk the same way to Nigel Hayes that I can to Bronson Koenig, and same different from Zach Showalter to Ethan Happ. They're all different, and they always have been. I mean, going back through the players we've had over the years, that's where the personal relationship comes in, and you figure out what's the best way to communicate. Some learn better by video, some learn better on the floor, some you really have to talk a little more deeply to. Others you have to make it short and sweet and move on. So I think it's gone as well as can be expected, and in large part due to obviously how our players have handled the transition, and then the people that have been around me with our support staff, my coaching staff, and everything that's involved. It's not one person that does this, and it's not a one-person program. There's a lot of people that have hands on deck with this operation.
I think most players would like to say they give the same amount of effort in practice, every day, no matter what. But have you seen a new energy, a new purpose in some of the guys that are now getting a chance, playing first half minutes for the first time maybe in their career, and do you see that as a positive?
Well, yes, I see it as a positive to answer your second part first. But I think anytime there's an opportunity for a young man or a student athlete in any sport, that's why they're here. They didn't come here to sit on the bench forever. They all want to work towards a goal, and obviously that's trying to help the team play in games. And obviously they have a very valuable contribution they make in practice every day with the scout team, but also at the same time they know they want to keep working towards what's going to be next and eventually get in a position where they can have minutes on the floor. And I just didn't start handing out minutes just because I wanted to play more guys. The guys that are playing have practiced pretty well, and it probably my hand got shown a little too earlier than the plan in the Green Bay game with Showalter and Koenig getting 2 fouls, so I had to play Jordan. And obviously he had a couple miscues early, but I thought once he got through that, and I've always thought that with younger players, you let them play through a couple mistakes. Not that you're going to let them go hog wild with mistakes, but you let them gain a little confidence, and they have to fail first sometimes in order to succeed. So for him to go out and turn the ball over a couple times, and I didn't have a choice. I had to play him because I couldn't put Zach and Bronson back in at that point in time, I felt, with 2 fouls in the first half. But I think just that's one example of how somebody has grown through this a little bit, and he's nowhere near where he can be. I think there's still times when I have to play traffic cop in practice and pull him over for driving too fast. He goes 80 and a 55 at times with the ball, and we need to slow him down, and he's learning that. But the best teacher of all I found over the years is experience. I mean, I can talk about it as a coach. Our staff can talk about it. We can show stats. We can show video. We can drill things. But the experience is still the best teacher. And sometimes you get baptized by fire, so to speak, that you go in and make some mistakes. And I think other guys have found that too, that Alex has come in and played well at times. Charlie. My rotation really isn't set from a standpoint I know who's going to go when. It's usually on gut instinct and what I see in the game and what we need. Sometimes I'll sub based on somebody that needs to come out. Sometimes I sub based on what I think we need and what somebody can bring. And I thought that's what, on Saturday, I thought Jordan Hill could give us a little spark, so I put him in. It wasn't something that I saw on the floor that I didn't like from the other guys so much as it was I thought we needed a little shot in the arm. And that's from different guys at different times. So I hope they like it. They're working. I mean, they've definitely we've changed practice somewhat. We practice very similar, but there are some things that are a little different. They practice very hard. And that's one thing I always, have asked of them, that we're gonna play hard, we're gonna play smart, and we're gonna play together. And for the most part, we've played hard most of the time in games. There's still times when I can find we get stagnant. And then I think we're still working on the playing smart all the time, and we're obviously still trying to come together as a team.